Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with reTHINK Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 38. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at reTHINK Coaching, and thank you for being here. I say it all the time, but your time is your most valuable asset, and the fact that you're willing to share it with me means the world. So thank you so much for being here. It is, in my world, it is a Sunday morning, about mid-morning, and I just got done with an amazing hike here in Santa Fe. And I don't know if any of you have been here or are familiar with Santa Fe, but in addition to the amazing culture and food and museums and art, we have some of the most amazing hiking trails. So I spent some time this morning on a hiking trail getting connected. And while I was on my hike, I was thinking about this episode because I've been working on this for about a week, which is as long as I typically work on most of my podcast episodes. And I've been noodling around with two of my favorite, and I say this all the time, universal or life laws that I have learned in my journey to where I am. And I was on my hike today thinking about it. And what brought it up, or what is making me want to really talk with you about it, is I am seeing across the country in different professions and in my life myself that what used to be simple and easy is not anymore. And that can be alarming. We talked a little bit about this in the past podcast about, playing to win, playing not to lose. But this is really about the life law of success is simple. It's not easy. And I want to spend a moment talking about this one, and then we'll get to the next life law that I want to talk to you about. And, success really is simple. I want you to think about it for a minute. I want you to take yourself out of the equation and pretend if you've got a kid or you've got a friend or you're running a business or whatever it is, a relationship with another human being, and they come to you for advice and they're just overwhelmed and they're not sure what to do and they know where they want to go. They know the goal that they want to have, and you sit with them and you help them create the path forward, much like what I do as a coach. And in that process of creating the path, it's 90% of it is very simple. If you do this, you get this. If you do these things, you'll get these results. Really, it's very simple, right? It's very simple. However, there's this thing called life and unknowns and objections and obstacles and changes in our world and our economy and all kinds of different things that make it not easy. Yes, it is super easy to come up with a business plan or a life plan and outline exactly what you're going to do and all these great results that you're going to get. And then when you go to implement, you're like, holy heck, I don't know this is going to happen. And you start to realize that it's more difficult than you thought it was going to be. And in those moments where something comes up that wasn't planned, okay, I always think about my opportunities, difficulties in life as the uninvited dinner guest just showed up. I'm having a dinner party for 6. I've got everything, tables set, everything is arranged, the menu is perfect. I got just the right amount of food, but if you know me, I'm Italian, I always got more. And somebody shows up or texts me 15 minutes before, hey, I'm with a friend, do you mind if I bring him over? Well, I have to pivot and solve the problem, right? So I think about things as they come up that provide challenges for us or that are obstacles, opportunities, if you want to be politically correct to make it sound fluffy, it's just an uninvited dinner guest. What do I need to do to get it back on track and to just realize that it's really simple? It's really simple. But we get caught up in the emotion of it. We get caught up that we're just pissed that it came up and we weren't expecting it. This is not how it was supposed to go. I've got this great outline, and nowhere in my outline did the uninvited dinner guest be factored in. And we tend to get in our heads and overcomplicate things. We do. And so I just want you to take a moment and ask yourself, where is my success simple and where is it not easy? And this can be in your business. This can be in your personal life. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. This is a life law, universal law that we all abide by, that success is relatively simple, not easy. So an example, for me, if I want to stay in shape, my goal as I am nearing my next milestone in a few years, several years. I want to enter it into a really good place of health and wellness and flexibility. And, I was on a hike this morning that is a moderate level hike. It's not easy and it's not hard, but boy, it sure made me sweat and hear myself breathing from a mile away. So my goal is to be able to maintain that as I age or as I get older. And boy, does that sound easy, right? Just go for a walk every day, go for a hike 3 times a week, do some weight training, have my trainer, do my cardio. It sounds very, very simple. Where it gets to be not easy are on the days when I may be with a group of friends and we want to go for a spontaneous afternoon drink on a patio, and then out comes some chips and salsa or some guacamole or some queso or whatever it is that ends up on the table, and I have to make a decision, right? It's not easy anymore to stay on track. That's just an example. It really is not difficult to have a formula for successful health. It's really not. It's pretty simple, but stuff happens. I had a major health event happen to me back in 2017 that nearly took me out. So it went from being simple to being not simple to being really, really, really not easy. But you have a choice to make. How do I make it simple again? And I think that is where we win. So I just want you to take a moment and look at your business or your life and ask yourself, where can I make it simple? And what is not easy, uninvited dinner guest? And how can I make it simple again? How can I make this easy? For me, with my health, I hired a nutritionist. She sends me on Monday, I get a menu, a shopping list, and recipes. How freaking simple is that? I don't have to think. I know exactly what I'm having every day for my meals, for my snacks. Very, very simple. But it's not easy when a friend calls and says, hey, we're going out for New Mexican food, or hey, we're going to go to this really fine restaurant, come join us. That's when it's not easy. So where is your success being more challenging than you thought it would? And where are you getting overwhelmed, overloaded in your own thoughts? And how do you get it back to being simple? I promise you it happens all the time. As a coach, I can see it happening with clients. We've got a great business plan in place. We have prepared. We have done everything we can do, and they're executing, and then boom, something doesn't go quite as planned, uninvited dinner guest. And we have to pivot. We've got to work a little bit harder than we thought we were going to have to work. It's 5 phone calls instead of 1 phone call. It's 2 in-person visits instead of a Zoom call. Things change where all of a sudden it's just not quite as easy as we thought it was. But if we stay in the not easy and we overthink and we focus on that problem, we move further and further and further and further away from the simplicity of success. So just think about that. Where are you overcomplicating? Where in your head? What's the biggest problem that's making it not easy? How do we get it back to simple? And let's just move forward again. It is a great way to approach life and business. It's something that I have to practice often, because what is that saying? What the best laid plans, right? Can sometimes blow up. I don't think that's the official saying, but that's mine. And all of a sudden it becomes not easy. So success is simple, not easy. The other life universal law that I want to talk about with you today, which I think ties into this really beautifully, right? Because it's about logic and emotion and the impact of those on your ability to move forward. So the rule, life law, universal law, whatever the heck you want to call it, is written as logic makes you think and emotion makes you act. I just want you to think about this for a minute. Have you ever witnessed somebody logicking themselves to death and never getting to take action? I'm going to research, I'm getting ready to get ready, and they get stuck in the logic minutia of things. And what ends up happening is logic makes you think, which really also stalls you out, because it starts to overload the brain with data that it's got to try to process and sort and sift and prioritize. And what am I going to include in what I'm doing? And it really does stall you out. I think we've all seen that person. I've witnessed it. I may have done it once or twice myself, where you just really do. You're just so getting prepared to be prepared, and you stall out. When you think about emotion makes you take action, right? It's usually the excitement, the feeling of it being possible, being able to see the impact it's going to have on you, your family, your friends, your business, the people you love, the people that you support and donate to, whatever it is, that emotion tends to draw you into action. So we want to have a balance of logic and emotion, because I think we've also seen somebody who is so fired up, either pissed or excited, and they are fired up and they just open their mouth and blast, and they have no logic behind it. They've not really done any kind of research to justify what they're saying, but boy, they're talking and they're taking a lot of action. I like to call that aim, ready, fire instead of ready, aim, fire. And that's what happens when you're overloaded with emotion and you don't have much logic or data. So in life, we tend to show up like a scale, right? Balanced with logic on one side, emotion on the other side. But there are times when we are going to tilt, and we're going to either tilt logic side or we're going to tilt emotion side. And that's where you have the opportunity to craft your success. Can't be all one or the other. Yes, emotion makes you act, and we all want to get into action, and we all want to move towards the goal that we set in our business or our life. But if we don't have logic behind it, it's not going to land well. And the person, the receivers, whatever it is, are going to feel this blast of emotion, good or bad, on them. So pay attention. If you're feeling stalled out, chances are you're stuck in logic land. If you're acting, and things aren't quite going the way you wanted them to, you've pissed some people off, you've hurt some people's feelings, you're just out there spinning around, chances are you're stuck in emotion land. And so there's a balance to it. I know for myself, when I am getting ready to speak to a large group of people, or I've been invited to facilitate a workshop on one of our programs to a company, I really can get in my head logically, because I want to make sure I am uber prepared. I could go down a bunny trail of all kinds of research about the company, what they do, and I get in, it starts to get to be overwhelming. And then enters some doubt in my world of, I don't really know. I got to spend some time, and I get my brain into overwhelm and I don't get into action. But if I just showed up all fired up because, oh my God, somebody hired me to come talk to them about this fabulous program I have, and it's going to make such a big impact on them, and I'm going to go, and I haven't taken the time to do a little bit of logic work, it's just not going to land well. It's not. So take a moment and really reflect on, where have things gone from simple to not easy? And where am I either stuck in logic or overreacting or taking action out of emotion, and it's not really serving me well? Also, if you lead people, either in your professional life or your personal life, if you've got kids, if you're an uncle, if you're an aunt, if you're somebody's son or daughter, if you're in a position that you are making an impact on someone and you're having a conversation with them, and they approach either in this position of being overwhelmed, it's not easy anymore, oh my God, I wasn't planning on that, the uninvited dinner guest showed up, do them a favor and bring them back to, let's make this simple. What's the simple steps to make the easy, or make the not easy easy? And then if you see somebody who's just like, oh my God, they're coming to you and we're having a conversation. I've noticed this with young adults that we coach that are just stuck. They're usually mid 20s, making career choices, and they have logic themselves into a lather and they're not able to take action. Offer them some awareness around emotion. If you did take action, what would the result be? If you were successful, what impact would that have? Help them out, because I see it all the time. I'm stuck in the not easy and I'm stuck not doing anything. Or conversely, I've had this happen too with younger people. Oh my gosh, I've done this, and they're so wound up and hyped up about something, and they're just spewing, and they're stuck in emotion land. Help them get some logic to balance things out. So do a check-in with yourself first. Success is simple, not easy. How do I keep the not easy simple? How do I move it back to simple? How do I deal with the seventh person that showed up for my dinner party for 6? And then where am I? Am I tilted? Am I balanced in logic and emotion? When you are, I promise you, when you have the perfect balance of logic and the perfect balance of emotion, it's just magic. You're in the flow. Things are happening. You're moving forward. Things are landing correctly. The activities that you're taking and the action that you're taking are actually getting you the results, versus you're just in a frenzy taking action, or you're stuck in non-action watching all your opportunities pass you Bye. Those two came to mind this week and were on my heart to talk to you about because I think we're in a position, regardless of what industry you're in or where you are, if this is more you wanting the best life possible, is to take a moment and just think about it. Really analyze where you are. Don't get too much caught in the logic, but really take a moment to get a snapshot of where you are, and then use some resources and tools to move forward. All right, team, I appreciate you being here. I cannot wait to see you next week. If it's gorgeous in your part of the world, go out and enjoy. There's something really magical about getting connected to nature. So take some time, maybe listen to this podcast on a hike or a walk and ask yourself, where am I making things not easy? And am I logic or emotion, or am I balanced? I want you to be in such a great place that you can achieve whatever it is you desire to achieve. We'll see you in a week. Go make it an awesome one. Thanks, friends. Bye. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.